Welcome to Around Town featuring what's happening here in the greater Concord area. I'm your host, Patten, and it's a pleasure to welcome you back as we have some very special guests. And for 19 years, almost 19 years, their theme song led off Around Town on TV, and that was from Never's Band. And tonight, my special guests are, of course, Tom Cusano, and Tom and I have been involved with the Christmas parade for, well, this is my 45th year, and I think we figured out this is his 39th year, maybe a 38th year, somewhere in that area.
I stopped counting.
Yeah, nearing 40 years. And of course, Debbie Giles Lincoln is right beside Tom. And Debbie went to school with me. We were classmates and at Concord High, class of 70, although we didn't have any classes together. But I do remember one year it was Mrs. Andrews' history class at Ronald Junior High. You came in with a lot of Never's Band, some instruments. I don't know if your dad was there, but you gave a talk on Never's Band. And I'll never forget that. And it was during Mrs. Andrews' history class. And that was the first time. And I remember seeing some of the old-fashioned instruments there, and I was so impressed because I always loved Never's Band. Always did. You used to remember them marching on the Heights 4th of July parades. You know, your father would be playing the clarinet, leading the band down the street, and it was just, there was just something about them. And then go to Memorial Field at nighttime, and we'd watch them. The first year I remember them in an open bandwagon at that point. It looked like I pulled it on wheels, like a square wooden wagon. Then the next year, you're over on the right side of the field with the new bandwagon. And after that, it was always the bandwagon until now you're up there underneath the trees off the football field. But yeah, because I remember your dad's plate on his car. I asked you the other day about that. I thought it was Never's on the plate or something. I could always tell that was Never's Band.
Well, I think he had his initials on his address, which was 110 South State Street, but if it had said Nevers, that would have been appropriate because you can't tell where Dad ended and where Nevers Band started.
I know, because he was, conductor for how many years?
26 years.
Wow.
Yep.
Gee. And Tom, you've been in the band for...
Well, nobody knows for sure.
But were you in it, though, when you were in high school, or no?
I played my senior year of high school as a substitute because some whole family took off for Europe. Was it someplace in Europe you guys went back then?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I had seen Never's Band, play numerous times because my family sold the ice cream and popcorn at the band concerts back in those days.
Yeah.
So I had always heard the band play from inside the food truck.
Sure.
And I got a call and they said, "We want you to play snare drum in Never's Band this summer." And I was kind of like shell shocked because it was quite an honor to be asked, being a high school kid. But the fellow who was playing bass drum was Tom Nearborn. And Tom Nearborn played in the band with us, so he knew me.
Yeah.
And I was just talking with somebody who works for the city, who helps deliver the bandwagon, and he did coaching and stuff at Hopkins High School. Tom Nearborn was the music director there for 20, 30 something years. So it's a small world, everybody knows each other. But I didn't play every year. I would substitute some years I wouldn't. So I was a sub for 10 or 15 years, and I would play anywhere from 2 to 6 concerts, 7 concerts a season.
Yeah.
And then I think I've been full-time now for 15,
Right, I would say.
roughly 15, 18,
Sure.
20.
Well, I remember one year when I was a kid, I think it was in September, because I know that, because it was a Friday night in front of the State House. The bandwagon was there, but it was for, I think, the kickoff to the United Fund Drive. And Never's Band, they weren't in uniform, if I remember right, but they were there. And they took a short intermission and I thought they were called the 1st Regiment, but they couldn't have been. It had to be the 2nd Regiment,
Right.
but they were, and I remember your mother playing the big bass drum there, and she was quite good playing it, boy. She belted it right out there. But it's been in your family, your blood for so many years. I mean, really, Same with Tom. I mean,
Well,
it's just
Deb was
kinda-
weaned on Nevers Band.
Oh, I know. I remember hearing the story about that.
We have a picture. We have a picture of her mother playing the bass drum and rocking the
Yeah,
carriage
yeah,
at the
yeah,
same
sure,
time.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
couldn't find a babysitter, so I had to go to the concerts, and later on, so did my brother.
Yeah.
And he grew up to play in the band, but he
Really?
only played for 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
Short timer.
Right.
Yeah, and of course they didn't let accordions. They wouldn't in a band like Rumlet and all that. Accordions weren't welcome, so.
Well,
But it always has been, like I said, and my favorite march, along with the Stars and Stripes, but my favorite one is the National Emblem March. I love that march.
mhm.
And then, of course, you're always focused on the piccolo and the Stars and Stripes. Well, did you do the piccolo this year or no?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Is that something a little bit different? Because every time when you play the Stars and Stripes, it sounds like you're going off a little bit, not off key, but a little bit different than the band's playing. Is that?
Well, it certainly is higher.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
higher than everybody else. And from time to time, depending on how cold I am and how tired I am, maybe I am going off key.
No, I just, but I watched it this year in Boston, the Boston Pops, and they had the piccolos there. There are like 4 of them, I guess, playing it. But I love the marches. I just can't help it. The other music is wonderful, but I love when you do the trio of marches there, the segment of all the marches from Dixie right up through, and I just, that's me. I just love marches. But
Yeah, we play quite a bit of traditional music and a lot of the marches, and some of the marches go back 100 years.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Yeah, and the ones that are really old, that are like 150 years old,
What's,
they sound like they're 150 years old. They're not, they're not John Philip Sousa marches. They're,
There was another one, but Begley, and then there was
Yeah,
some other guy
E.
too.
Bagley.
He was the one that wrote
Millard?
National Emblem.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and there's what Miller? What was his name?
Millard Fillmore.
That's it, Fillmore.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
It's some fairly.
So now I
famous names.
understand that you are going to chuck the uniforms and trying to get some new uniforms. Are we staying with the colors, or are we going to go with different colors?
Well, we're going to have the same shirts.
Yeah.
So nothing's going to
Okay.
change there.
Okay.
But we think we've had these current uniforms for 25 or 30 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So I was amazed to find out how expensive the uniforms are.
Really?
And even when we bought this set, do you remember how much they were per uniform back then?
Well, if you include the jacket, I think it was at least $300 a uniform.
Oh.
Yeah.
Probably just the jacket was $300, and then the pants were another $200.
Yeah,
It's
so you're talking $500, $600, $700 per uniform in 1980 terms of money. So that would be like $1,000, $1,500 per uniform.
Really?
And you see that now when high schools go on fund
Oh, I
drives
know,
and stuff for
yeah.
uniforms. They've got to raise about $1,000 per student for new uniforms.
Wow.
So you have to take care of them. So we've got decades out of them, so we got our money's worth. But
Yeah.
they are heavy wool, which in the summertime they can be a little warm.
Really?
And we've got our money's worth out of them, but they're literally coming apart at the seams. So now we're going to be buying new uniform pants. Essentially, we'll have a dark navy blue, just a shade darker than what we have now, with the same gold stripe. So, but they will be more of a breathable material and a little more flexible material for us who need stretching waistbands when we're trying to play the bass drum and reach for instruments, and being able to move a little bit helps.
Now, are you trying to raise funds to help offset this cost, or what are you doing? How do you?
Well, we haven't got a concrete plan yet, but we've kicked around some ideas for a couple of concerts to maybe help with a little bit of a fundraiser. It isn't a major expense compared to, like, if you had a 200-person high school band, you got to
I
raise
know.
$200,000.
Oh,
We're probably looking at $1,500 to $2,000 expense to buy these new pants.
Wow.
But when you're a small nonprofit
Yeah.
organization,
Yeah.
That's a big chunk of money.
Of course it is.
So we are going to come up with some ideas for some small fundraisers this season to see if we can offset it. We don't want to spill the beans yet, but we're thinking we might do another Pops concert and sell some refreshments.
Oh.
But we haven't got the definite plans yet.
When would that be? In December or November? Or?
No, it would be the summer concert.
really?
Yeah,
Summer concert?
We're thinking possibly one of our last concert for the city season is at Eagle Square.
Well,
so-
when's that going to be this year?
The Eagle Square concert, the last one for the city, is Tuesday, August 9th, which sounds like, the end of the summer, but that's only about 3 weeks from now. Maybe
Really?
4 weeks from now.
So you don't go up through almost the end of August then?
No, we used to go a little bit later in August,
I know, remember
but what's
that.
happening is schools are starting before Labor Day.
Yes, true.
A lot of the colleges start
Yeah.
well before Labor Day,
Hmm.
and a good number of the band members are college students and teachers.
Yeah.
So if school starts 3 days before Labor Day, they've got to go back a few days before that. So in order to be able to still perform, the band has to kind of stop a little bit earlier, about a week earlier than we have in the past because of the school schedules.
Do you think you're ever going to go back marching again?
No, but they
I don't
make
think
these nice
so.
trailers that we can ride on now. So
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's been good there. I know Pittsfield's had you in their old home day parade. and
yeah, we do
stuff.
the Pittsfield Old Home Day Parade, and this Saturday, which is July 23rd, right, Deb? I mean 19th, not the 23rd,
Not
the
the-
19th.
No, the 16th.
Is it the
is
16th?
The 16th is.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Tuesday
Is
concert.
that Pittsfield's old? Really?
This is Pittsfield's the following Saturday, but this Saturday we will be doing the Deerfield 250th celebration. And they have a picture of Nevers Band performing there for the parade that they had through town in 1926 or something like that.
Or
They had a bunch of old
very,
Model
very
8 cars
early.
lined up, and they had some people there, and Nevers Band was right on the stage, and the parade would go by, and the band would play some tunes. So we're going to basically recreate the whole scene, and they're going to have a parade, and it's going to be at the Deerfield Fairgrounds, and we'll be set up on a stage, and we will play as the parade entries go by.
Interesting.
And it's not supposed to rain, so that's
Oh, I know.
unlike our parades that we have in Concord. It always seems to be forecast for rain.
Hmm.
At least the forecast is for good weather, so maybe it will rain. You never
Oh,
know.
I know. Huh.
But we have Rolfe Park this Tuesday
Yeah.
coming up,
Yeah.
which is the 19th, and then the 26th is a big celebration here
Yep.
at Keach Park on the
Keach
Heights.
Park, that's right. Grange is having their greet and eat night over there, and we're going to be honoring 2 members of the band as we've been doing the last few years. And we've got refreshments. We're going to be giving out free steamed hot dogs and chips and beverage and Grange homemade desserts at starting at 6:30. Then you'll take
Yep.
an intermission later, and maybe have some more. And we're also going to be honoring the fire department that night too, because it's their 50th anniversary of the Heights Station on
Oh.
Loudon Road.
Cool.
Very nice.
But what didn't get mentioned is that the Grange started that back in 1923, petitioning for a fire department up on the plains or the heights.
Yep.
And one of our members, who was a charter member, Everett Mahoney, was the first fire captain. And it was Engine 5 that was up here. And the station was somewhere in the middle of Grover Street and Pembroke Road. But that didn't get in the history. But we have it in our history. So really, it's been a great involvement the Grange has had up here. But so it's going to be a big. Hopefully, the weather will be nice, and we'll have a nice night over there.
Yeah, and should the weather be inclement, can you use the reverberating community center?
I haven't even asked about it. I figured that was your thing, but I don't know.
Well, a lot of city concerts we've been going to
I
First
know,
Congregational
down
Church, but
yeah.
if it's on the Heights and the community center is available, it's only a few feet away.
Okay, so have
All
you?
of our, I don't mean to correct you, but it's a self-congregational
Yeah,
church.
Did I say first?
South
You
Congo,
did.
yeah.
I was just seeing if you were paying attention.
All right. Yeah, for our city concerts, if it rains, we go to the Self-Congregational Church on Pleasant Street.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I thought.
Yep.
So I mean, if you have it, I don't know, but you'll have to talk over at the.
Yeah,
I didn't think of that.
I'll send a communication out tomorrow and
Sure.
check on that.
Well, we'll hope for good weather. But it's been good though. The history of the band is just amazing. I brought some pictures with you. I know that you'll be seeing on camera there, but and of course now the original they started in what
61 supposedly.
yeah, and that was
There-
in the Civil War, right?
Right. We do have some links to the Civil War band.
Yeah.
Actually, technically, after the Civil War, when all the members came from Fisherville, which is in Pennacook.
Yes.
And when they came back to Fisherville, they actually disbanded.
Oh.
But there was a few of the members that did continue,
Yeah.
and then they further played with the New Hampshire National Guard
Okay.
band, which was the 3rd Regiment back
Okay,
then.
there you go.
And then it got. No, I apologize. It was the 3rd Regiment in the Civil War, and then when they came back and joined with the National Guard, then it became the 2nd Regiment,
Oh, okay.
which is in part where we get our name.
And then,
But the first picture we brought with us is from 1908,
wow.
and the talk about uniforms. There were some pretty classy uniforms, and the band at this time was under the direction of Arthur Nevers,
Yes.
and he was also in the New Hampshire National Guard band.
Hmm.
So those uniforms lasted for quite a while, and then we have another picture of upon Arthur Nevers' death in 1941. Then Herbert W. Rainey became the conductor,
Oh, yeah.
and he was also the mayor of Concord. But in the second picture, it shows Herbert W. Rainey sitting to the left of the bass drum, and for the first time ever, you see women in the band.
Oh.
So, and it was quite controversial because he invited high school students to play
Yeah.
with the band, and prior to that, it had just been military personnel. So, he was expanding the musicians' base in the band.
So basically, this is like an anniversary year for this band. If it was 1861, right? No.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, because
155.
Yeah, that's right too. Yeah, so it's basically the 155th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, we had our 150th
Yeah.
about 5 years ago.
Well, yeah, I guess so, Thomas. Yes, Tom. Isn't that amazing?
I paid attention to
I
school.
know. I'm telling you, yes. Yeah. And to think I went to school with your brother.
Yeah, that's
Dan,
right.
Dan, I'm telling you. Huh.
Well, we have our third picture is actually a cartoon. It's kind of cute.
Yeah.
It shows Herbert Rainey as, and they call him Dr. Rainey in the cartoon. Of course, he wasn't a doctor. He was a lawyer and also the mayor. But they're portraying him in the cartoon as a doctor who's putting some pep into the old band because he brought in the girls and he brought in the youngsters from high school. And you'll see there's a picture of an older fellow who's in a hospital bed who's being infused with new blood, new uniforms, new music.
Yeah.
And so as controversial as he was, I guess he was pretty successful in revitalizing the band. So
Wow,
that's
good.
kind of it. I don't remember who the artist is. It's down in the right-hand corner.
Yeah.
But that's a really cute
It
cartoon.
is. It is.
And throughout the years, we have revitalized the band.
Yeah.
Even in current day.
That's
Well,
right.
it's been so many years. Everybody looks forward to summertime because we know Nevers Band is coming up, and especially 4th of July. It wouldn't be the 4th without them. They would play in Concord in the morning in that parade and do a short concert at Heights Park, then go down to Memorial Field at nighttime. But then when the 4th of July parade gave up, I think you used to go down to another town for that parade or something, because I think it was either Amherst or Andover, someplace you'd go and
We
play.
used to do 3 parades
Yeah.
in a day.
Yeah.
So no family picnics on the 4th of July.
Oh, I'm sure. You must have gotten so tired of it, though.
Well, no.
but yeah,
It's
your
it's your
family.
summer family. You don't get to see your own family. You get to see the Nevers Band people, so it's fun.
I know, and it's just, to me, I just have always loved that band. I just do, and I'm wishing we get them in the Christmas parade, but a lot of your members aren't around though. They're in school, colleges and stuff. But maybe one of these years we'll get them in. But
What's the last picture you got, Deb?
Our last picture is from 1941, and that is one of the most recent uniforms. I apologize, 1961. And those uniforms were brand new, as well as the Wenger bandwagon was brand new.
yeah,
And since that picture, we've only had one other set of uniforms.
Wow.
So we make them last a long time.
well, you've done well with it.
And my dad is, Paul Giles is the conductor in that picture.
Yeah,
And they did quite a bit of fundraising. They had lots of concerts at the City Auditorium, and they invited soloists like Roger Voisin and Armando Catala from the Boston Symphony to come as soloists.
Really?
So they had a huge draw. I don't know if we'll do that at any fundraising concert, but...
Maybe we'll get Keith Lockhart up here. Conduct it, maybe.
Right.
I don't know what it costs, but I'm sure him. But yeah, it's great though. And maybe you could have someone adopt a band member uniform or something like that.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Great. Keep coming up with the ideas,
Yeah.
Dick.
We'll just
I
put,
was
the,
thinking about
we'll
the
just
money,
put the
though.
business name on the back of the shirt,
Yeah, there you go. Sure.
Barry's
Sure.
bail bonds.
At least you don't have to worry about buying the big hats like the college bands do and stuff, the big plumes there and stuff. But.
Yeah, well, we had thought about that once, but the problem is when you sit, and the person behind that person won't be
Yeah.
able to see the conductor.
I know it. Yeah, I know it.
And some of the people in the front row now, their heads are so big you can't see past them.
I know myself. I was so honored that year when I was asked to be an MC for the brand for the concert at the Sales Plaza. That to me was the high point of everything.
Oh, great.
I was named the Citizen of the Year by the Chamber of Commerce that year too. But then when you asked me to be the MC, I just thought, wow, that was just something else. And I'll never forget your mother because you folks played a certain song. It was called "Kitten on Keys" or something like that. And I remember that how she got laughing because in practice it was just like it was everywhere. It was called "Kitten on Keys."
Kitten on Keys. I don't remember that name.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what she gave it. I don't know. But I remember that name. Ian, are we boring you over there? Poor guy, I'm telling you.
Still too long.
He's, huh?
The sitting's still too long.
You poor baby.
So we should mention we have another concert Tuesday, August 2nd.
Yeah.
And that'll be Presidential Oaks. Presidential Oaks Retirement Community is one of our major sponsors this year. And we've had that'll be our second concert there.
Yeah.
And our Friday of that same week, which is August 5th, we'll be playing again at the Hampton Seashell Bandstand. This will be our, I think, fourth year, consecutive year of being invited back to play at the Hampton Bandstand.
Really?
Then we'll have the Tuesday, August 9th concert at Eagle Square.
Yeah.
And that'll be it for our regular summer season. But this year we do have an extended season because Thursday, September 29th, we'll be playing a concert at the Deerfield Fair that Thursday evening.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
One thing I don't want to sound like I'm blowing my own horn, but get a little band joke.
No pun intended.
Many people have come to hear Never's band play that are from different towns, to even some from different countries. You have people from Canada, and they'll come down and they'll watch a concert, and they'll come up to us afterwards and just be amazed. They'll just be like, "You guys are incredibly good." I didn't expect something that good, and we really have some very talented, dedicated musicians in this band.
Yeah, of course you do.
We are playing music that is well beyond the capability of most town bands or community bands, simply because we've got that caliber of performers.
Yes. Yeah.
The music has changed a lot. Where it used to be just military and marches.
Yeah.
In the 70s we were playing stuff like Broadway musicals and The Sound of Music and old waltzes, and it was popular music of that day. Well, now we are playing a lot of the musical numbers from movies and
I
themes.
heard The Lion King.
Yeah, we're doing
That's
Lion
something.
King. We've done the theme from
Prince.
Frozen. We did tribute to Prince. We do the Beatles tunes and Beach Boys. The Pirates of the Caribbean. We can play a lot of music that really takes a diverse band. There's a lot of different instruments that
Oh, sure.
we now have. Because at one time we used to have as little as 24, 25 players.
I know.
And now we'll have 40 to 45 players at a
Wow.
concert. So it's
Yes.
double the size to
I
get the
know.
coverage. But it's very exciting with full set of 4 timpani. We've got the drum set, so we've got a lot of things going on. So for those people who haven't taken the time to come down, it's a free concert. It's sponsored by the City of Concord, Parks and Rec Department. It's also sponsored by the Walker Lecture Fund.
Yeah.
And without our 3 major sponsors, it's just not possible to put these concerts
Oh,
on.
I'm sure.
So we
sure.
appreciate their support each year, and we surely hope that the people will get out to come see us because it's a beautiful night. It's all free.
Oh, I
Kids
know.
can run around and play and
Oh, yeah.
holler, and
Yeah.
and it's a normal thing to do for kids. You know, we play the marches, they march around, and they have a good time.
Sure, yeah.
It's called active listening.
Yeah, so you used to do a game, I remember, too, with the kids at that concert, especially that year that I was up there. What was that? You were doing a game with them. And they enjoyed it. They had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that
Kids
was
like to
part
be
of it.
actively involved. They don't
Oh,
want
yeah.
to just
Oh, yeah.
sit and do nothing.
Yeah, it's hard. But, no, I mean, it's like you said, a free evening and a summer evening. Bring your lawn chair and blanket, get down there. Although I have to say, I remember one night, though, we were watching that sky. And boy, it was about 8:30, and you just did the last number, the Stars and Stripes, and boom, you could
Yep.
see the lightning in. And of course, Havenwood had their bus out there on Park Street, and they were trying to hustle them. That storm was coming in fast.
Yeah,
And
we
boy.
actually we had one a couple of years ago in Pennacook at Rolfe Park,
Yes. Yeah.
and you know, we'll be in constant communication with David Gill, and he's watching the radar, and
Oh, yeah.
the storms were going the other direction. Well, about 5 minutes before the concert started, my phone rings, and David's like, "It's coming right at you. It's going to be there in 15 minutes." So I told the director, I said, "We're going to get about 2 songs in, and then it's going to open up."
Yeah.
So we played the 2 songs. It still didn't look too threatening. And he was about to play the third one. I saw some lightning flashing,
Oh, wow.
and I went, "We're out of here."
That's right, exactly. Get out of there.
And it started pouring rain.
Yeah.
We're packing up the bandstand.
Yeah.
Then we went out to eat afterwards. We went to the restaurant, and we were all totally soaked
Well, I bet.
because we had to pack all that up in the rain.
I'm sure.
And it poured buckets. I mean, we were standing in water a half-inch deep in the ballpark.
Boy.
The director was the only one that could see the storm coming because we were facing
Oh, yeah,
him, and he
sure.
could look over the bandstand, and as he was
Oh,
conducting, his
yeah.
face went from a smile to oh.
Now, who's conducting this year? I know, would you say Phil Martin?
Kevin Swift is a regular conductor.
Kevin
He's
Swift.
gone for 2 weeks during the summer
Yeah.
for a band camp, so we have 3 or 4 substitute conducters.
Was Phil Martin?
Phil
there?
Martin conducted the last one.
Okay.
Ken Martin did 4th of July. Jiffy Rainey will do the one this Saturday. And is that it? I think Kevin's back after that.
I think so.
So
Yep.
Ken Martin did the 4th of July one.
Right.
Hmm.
And
Now-
his father, who was Phil Martin, who also a music
That's
teacher,
okay. That's
did
where it is. I was
the last concert.
okay. So Ken Martin, where's he a teacher at somewhere or no?
Goffstown, I think.
Goff-
Goffstown, yeah.
Wow.
So we're lucky to have a huge base of
Yeah, because Tom
music
Fisk
teachers
is in
and
there.
musicians that we can draw from for
Yeah,
substitutes.
because Tom Fisk is in there too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh. Well, we're coming to a close around town, and we've had such a great show with Debbie, Giles Lincoln, and Tom Cusano, band members, longtime band members of Nevers Band. And don't forget, Tuesday nights up until August 9th, you can go down to either the State House Plaza or Eagle Square or one of the city parks, especially July 26th. Come over to the Heights Park. But bring your lawn chair or a blanket and just enjoy the great music. And who knows, they might get you up there to do a guest conducting or get your kids to march around or whatever. But it's a great evening. And don't forget, they're trying to raise money for new uniforms. So it might not hurt to adopt a uniform. You know, who knows? Everything helps.
Tax deductible donation.
There you go. So my thanks to my super director, Ian Marx, as usual, and his hard work he does. And so with that, we'll have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of the summer, and we'll see the Nevers Band in concert. I'm Dick Patten, your host.